Welcome to Books Without Borders. Today we are going to be reviewing a book called How to Break Up With Your Phone, the 30-Day Plan to Take Back Your Life. Award-winning journalist Catherine Price reveals a practical, hands-on plan to break up and then make up with your phone. Price's goal isn't to bin your phone completely, it's to create a long-term relationship that feels good. Catherine Price, a science journalist, author and speaker, helps individuals and organisations establish the greatest practices to support creativity, productivity, and last but not least, mental health. Price gives us a shocking figure to think about. The average UK adult checks their phone about 33 times a day, which amounts to 30 full days a year. Price takes us on a journey to discover how phones and apps are designed to be addictive, and she teaches us how the time we spend on them damages our abilities to focus and create new memories. Price teaches us ways to customize changes to our settings, apps, environment, and eventually our mindset. In following these steps, Price sees it as a solution, enabling us to take back control of our lives. How to Break Up With Your Phone is packed full of tested strategies and practical tips, and Price says it is an essential, life-changing guide targeted at everyone who owns a smartphone. This book has been published in 30 countries and translated into 23 languages. Price tells us about some of her personal experiences with technology, talking about when she used to take her phone to the bathroom and that she panicked when it was out of battery. When friends reply to a message with an emoji, it can feel hurtfully glib in a way that a real-life acknowledgement or even one on the other end of a phone line wouldn't. Some of the words used to describe how phones make us feel are busy but ineffective, connected but lonely, free to look at the world but tethered to a device. Price explains 5 different ways we can get back our control from our phones. Firstly, she suggests something called trial separation, starting with a 24-hour phone fast to see what it is like. Then you have the 3 Ws. Anytime you catch yourself reaching for your phone, take a second to ask yourself the 3 Ws. What are you picking it up to do? Why now? Is it practical? For example, looking up a bus timetable. Situational. You're waiting for a friend and bored, or emotional, you want validation. What else could you do right now instead of checking your phone? Price advises us that if you do end up looking at your phone, not to beat yourself up. The point is that you've explored other options and you've made a conscious decision. You've gained control. Then we have something called fight phubbing. This is phone snubbing, meaning checking your device in the middle of a human interaction like a conversation. Price says phones should add to interactions. For example, it's fine to look at your phone if you're showing a friend a photo, but it's not okay if you're using your phone to distance yourself from life. Finally, Price presents something called unlike likes. If your phone wasn't a vessel for social media on it, I bet you wouldn't use it half as much. Price advises us to delete our apps, and if you need them, after going through the 3 Ws first, you can log in through the browser. She recommends the Facebook Demetricator browser, which Price also advises is a useful tool. It removes scores from Facebook. So instead of showing the number of people who liked something, it just says people liked it, with no quantification. Price says that each time a like is received, the brain delivers a hit of the addictive chemical dopamine. Over the course of 30 days, Catherine guides us through an easy-to-follow plan that enables us to identify our goals, priorities, and bad habits, tidy our apps, and take time away. And finally, we will create a new, healthier relationship with our phones and establish habits and routines to ensure this new relationship sticks. Price tells us we don't have to give up our phone forever. Instead, we will be taught how to be more mindful when using our phones. but also about how we choose to spend the precious moments of our lives. As soon as I saw this book, I knew I had to pick it up. Personally, I've known for a long time that my phone takes too much attention away from my life. However, trying to find a healthy balance has always been a challenge and is an ongoing issue. As soon as I started reading 2 or 3 pages, I didn't want to put the book down. It hit home when I read the part about people having their phone right before they sleep and the first thing you grab in the morning. It made me ask the question, could I live without my smartphone? The book is split into 2 sections. Section 1 helps you evaluate your phone usage now and how many of us could use a digital detox. Price discusses why our phones are so addictive, the dangers of social media, and how our phones are killing our attention spans, memory, sleep, and overall, our lives in general. One statement that really hit me from Price's book was how much time we lose because of our smartphones. And not just that, it brings attention to how fast time seems to fly whilst we're on our smartphones. Since reading this book, I've noticed it a lot. Each chapter shares a quote, most of which are thought-provoking. This one by John Lancaster scared me a little. Even more than it is in the advertising business, Facebook is in the surveillance business. Facebook, in fact, is the biggest surveillance-based enterprise in the history of mankind. It knows far, far more about you than the most intrusive government has ever known about its citizens. Part 2 is the 30-day plan to teach us how to end the dysfunctional relationship with our phones. Personally, I felt a lot of the tips were common sense, and I found the first part of the book a lot more interesting, the why and the evidence behind it all. While there were some helpful tips and tricks in here, I find that fully reducing phone usage requires more than just tips, tricks, mindfulness, and adjusting the apps you use. I actually believe the book Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, which I have also reviewed, you can find on my channel, convinces you to abandon all social media entirely for 30 days, has a larger impact in resetting your priorities. Then during the reintroduction phase, with digital minimalism, you realise you didn't miss out on anything and are happier and less anxiety-ridden without social media at all. My biggest takeaway from this book? Buy a real alarm clock and remove the news and social media apps from your phone.